Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to join me. I wanted to bring you along on my next journal making. Last video that we did, I made a couple of pockets. I'm doing a dog journal. Hint, dog. Those that know me know that I do love dogs, got one of my own. And we made these, if you remember, these that flip out with the little papers inside and the tuck spot. So we made that one. We did the one with the pocket on the front, and then that opens out again with the tuck spot just there and the papers. And I did this one and I stuck the dog on there and a little butterfly and a tag, and then that's got a couple of tuck spots, and I would put that in a pocket somewhere. So we made those last time, and I've been doing some other things. I've got a pocket ready to go in, tag. That's going to be a long pocket that goes at the side, so it'll be a side tuck. So working hard on this dog journal, and I thought I'd bring you along as I'm doing it and just show you a different pocket that I'm going to do, or that I'm using. I used this one in my last journal, which was the buttons kit, the Jane Austen theme one that my last video, and I really like this pocket. So as you can see, I've made one. And let me show you where it would go. Sorry, I'm just looking for a blank page. Hang on. That'll do. So it would go on the page like that. You can glue it 3 sides and have it as a top, or you can glue it those 3 and have it as a side, which is what I would probably do. It's got a pocket just here. Let me grab a tag. So it's got a pocket just there that you can put in, and then it's got this flip up here, and so there's a pocket just there. So it's got 1, 2, and then it would either be 3 just there or 3 just there, whichever you decide to do. So I've done one to go in this journal, and I thought I'd just show you how I make it. Just a different pocket that you may already make them, you may not. So using book pages, I've done one for my to remember that I do like this pocket. So I've cut one out of book page just so that I can remember how to do it. Let me just grab a couple of book pages. Oh dear, everything's just collapsed over to the side of me. Never mind. Carry on, Carol. Typical Blue Peter moment there. So 2 book pages. It doesn't matter what size your book pages are. I think these are, I have measured them before, haven't I? So they're about 9 inches tall and about 6 inches wide. But it doesn't really matter. It depends what journal you're going to put them in. Now, I know that my journals, the one that I'm making at the moment is slightly narrower. But I know usually if I have a pocket in my journals, it would be about 4.5 inches wide. So I'm going to cut both of those pages at 4.5. So I've then got 2 at 4.5. I'm going to fold this one up to make the pocket. So that's that pocket there. So I've just folded that up, and then that is the rest of this. So I don't know. Look at that. It's just about spot on. So I know that's tall enough to go in one of my journals. So that measures, it's about 2.25 inch tall pocket, but again, it's up to you. There's no rules on how tall it's got to be. And then overall, that's just over 7 inches. Well, I know my book pages, my journal pages are usually about 8, so that's perfectly fine. The way that I get this flap, and I guess everyone's going to do this slightly differently, is by folding that over like that. But I don't want this to be as tall as that. So what I'm going to do is fold it slightly more, because this bit here is this pocket just here. And then I'm going to cut this off. I hope I'm explaining this to you. I'm going to cut this off to make the flap for the pocket. So I want it roughly underneath eagerly me or eagerly at me. And again, it depends on you, how you want the look of this pocket to be. As I say, there's no rules on the size of it. So that will go down behind there. That will become the tuck. So that's going to be that flap pocket there. And it's going to be a tuck spot just there. Okay. Then this one, obviously I've put the papers on and I'll do that with you next. But the way that I've put it together then, and I know not everybody sews, so you don't have to sew, but the way that I've done it is I've stitched round this pocket first. So before I've glued it together, I've stitched round that pocket, and then I've stitched across that pocket, and then I've put it in there. Oh, and then I've stitched round that bit, and then I've stitched round there. So, but you can just glue it as long as you glue it in properly so it doesn't fall out, and it'll be fine. It'll be good to go. So I'm going to make one with you. As they say on the Blue Peter programme, here's one I made earlier. So I've got this one prepped at the size I want it for that journal that I'm making, because as I say, I know that's a little bit narrower. And I've got these papers that I'm going to put on, and I was thinking, did I want the blue? Yeah, so I was thinking for the top pocket, I just have this one here. That's this one with the bird on. I'm going to use this. So I tend to like to have my paper slightly bigger, because then I can trim it down to size afterwards, rather than trying to be precise and then laying it on, and then you don't get it quite on the right size, and then you end up with a smaller pocket. So just take that out of there. So this is my pocket, so it's going to go on like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up as best as I can with the fold. And just glue that down on there. And then I know, as I say, I know that's going to be too big. So I'll just cut that extra off. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I hope that when I show you these things, I hope I'm explaining it clearly to you, and that you can see what I'm doing. You can leave the trimming off till the end if you want to. I'm doing this so you can see what it looks like when when I'm making the mess of it. Okay, so that is the pocket that goes in there like that. Okay. This top bit, there's going to be a tuck spot just there, don't forget. And I think this was actually one piece of paper. And as with this one, you can see it matches. So that was one piece of paper. And I just liked that effect. This paper, do I want it to be slightly different? Do you know what? I think I'm going to carry it on again, because that does match. That's just a fluke, I think, that I had this bit of paper laying around. So I can cut that one down slightly. I'm just going to cut it along there. And again, I know that's going to be too long or too tall, but I can trim it afterwards. I'm not going to worry about it. Get my glue on. Oops, Daisy, it's like toast, isn't it? It always falls glue side down. And then that, I'm going to tuck it just slightly under there. Yep, I think that's quite straight. There we go. And then I'm just going to trim off that excess again. I mean, if this doesn't make sense to you, then please, by all means, leave me a question below, and I will certainly get back to you. I think when this video goes out, I'm planning to put it out over the weekend, and I'll sort of be around, but we're actually going to, now that we're slowly coming out of lockdown here in the UK, we're going away for a few days in our little motorhome. So there we go, look. So that's going to be a tuck spot just there, and that's going to be the flip up there. So this needs covering with paper. Again, it's up to you what you want to cover it with. I have got some of this green. That looks all right, doesn't it? So I think I'm going to stick that on there. I know it doesn't need to go all the way down to the bottom. It just needs to cover the pocket, but while I'm doing this with you, I will put it all the way top to bottom, just because it makes it easier while I'm trying to cut. So if I try and match that. There we go. Ruler's not long enough. Get the big guns out, Carol. So I hope you're all doing okay. As I say, here in the UK, we're slowly starting to come out of lockdown. When I'm doing this video, which is actually on the Monday, it's the first day that pubs can open. Shops are back open. Pubs can open, but they can only serve outdoors. We can't go indoors, so it's kind of bittersweet, I guess. You know, there's not many pubs that have outdoor space, but I suppose it's the slow steps towards getting back to normal. So there, if I just put it together again, you can see we're going to have that tuck spot just there. That's going to flip up, and it's got that green, and there's going to be the pocket just there. And depending whether I glue it on three sides or completely down, you know, you can have the extra tuck spot if you want it to. So I just need something now for this pocket. Let's grab that. Oh well, that was made for it, wasn't it? Yep, so that'll go on there. Put some glue on. Do I want those going up? I think I might do actually. So I'm going to line that up at the bottom of the pocket. Sorry if you can't see, I'm just trying to get my head over it so I can see, oops Daisy, see what I'm doing. I'll just fold that over. I've loved seeing some of you have made some of the pockets that I've done in my previous videos, and it's fabulous to see what you're making. And I really like to see different people's takes on things. You know, you'd think if everybody made a pocket in the same style that they'd look the same, but they don't. And they look different every time you make them yourself. You know, it depends what paper you're going to use. So let's just put that back together again. Got a bit of a crease going on just there. I'm just going to rub that out. Rub it out. No, you can't rub a crease out, Carol, but you can press it down, look. Let's press it down. Yeah, that's gone. So that then, oh, I like that. Yep, very pretty. So it's got the tuck spot there. It isn't a crease, look, it's it's the sorry, you'll have to excuse me. I don't know if you can see, but it's the design in the paper is a crease where it's where Rachel's papers have obviously dried. It's dried with a crease, and I've been madly trying to press the crease out. Oh dear, lost the plot on a Monday morning. Oh dearie dear. Anyway, get a grip, Carol. Anyway, so there's the pocket just there, and there's that pocket there. Okay, and there you can put a tab on here. You know, you can decorate it how you want. So if you weren't going to sew this, the way that you would put it together would be, you would put glue down those two sides there and glue it on there. So that's just down there. So that's these two bits that you've glued in. And then you'd open the pocket. Let me move up a bit. Open the pocket, glue just there and that bit to make that a pocket and to make that a pocket. But I want to sew mine because that's what I'm doing and I like the look of it. So that's that one done. Same as that one, just to be sewn. So I'm going to put that to the side, and then we'll have a go at doing this other one. And this one is slightly wider because it's not going to go in one of these in this journal that I'm doing now. Papers, what paper shall we use? Let me just grab my papers. These are like William Morris style papers. That one isn't. That's one of Rachel's, I think. Let me just have a think. I quite like that pale. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to use those two. Okay, decision made. So I think that my pocket is going to be this, and then the top bit and the underneath flap are going to be in this one. That's what I think I'm going to do. So let me just quickly cut the edge off of this. See how quick I can do it. Not very, because I'm not the fastest. So bear with me. I should have got this ready before, but then I didn't know what paper I was going to use, did I? 1, 2, 3 and 4. And as I say, you know, if you make these yourselves, you're going to find different ways of doing it that you prefer. So I want that top bit on there. Pencil. Grab a pencil. About there and about there. So my ish measuring again tends to work fairly well. And as I say, if it ends up that I've cut it too small, well, I will just cut the pocket to fit. It won't be a problem. And if it's too big, I can trim the paper. So either way, we're good to go. So this is my pocket. You can see it's cut shorter. So I'm going to put that on there. That wasn't bad measuring, actually. I have to turn it. I'm not going to turn it round. I'm going to match that with the crease, aren't I? So match that with the crease to cover the pocket flap. Oops, a daisy. And then cut that off. Dear, I'm still giggling at myself inside for thinking that the marking on the paper was a crease on the paper. Okay, so that's that bit. Ta-da! Yep, like that. Inside paper. What have I got? I'm looking for something that's a bit plain. Oh, I've got that. Is that too lilac? Actually, that's quite pretty, isn't it? The reason that I want it to be plainer on the inside is just if you wanted to write on it, or you wanted to stick a picture on the inside of the flap, or write, you know, you can do the choice. You've got a choice then, haven't you? Rather than me deciding how somebody's going to use the journal, I like to, if I can, I like to leave options. Get my glue on there. And again, as I say, I know that you don't have to go all the way to the bottom of this because it's going to be behind the pocket, but just for the ease of the video. Gosh, if you could see the mess that's growing at the side of me. I guess one day I'll be a bit more slick at doing these videos, and I won't get in such a mess with everything. There we go. So I'm just going to leave that for a moment because it's going to dry. Let's flatten it down a little bit before I fold it. So I'm just going to leave that to dry just for a moment while we do the back of the pocket and the inside, the flap underneath the pocket. Again, I'm just going to cut this. Without cutting my fingers. So Sorry, I've gone quiet while I'm trying to cut this to size. Next time I will think ahead and cut the edges off the papers. Or hopefully by then I'll have my new printer up and running. I have it, I just haven't got the inks for it at the moment. So I'm going to put that on that bottom pocket there. Sorry, do I keep going off screen? So that's going to be the bottom pocket. There. And yeah, if I cut that straight, the width, I'm going to have enough to do the back of the pocket as well, aren't I? Let me just cut it a bit bigger. Oops, forgetting I've got to cut that off there, haven't I? So that's the pocket. That's going to be the pocket just there. Yep, lovely papers. Mind you, I am a fan of William Morris. I've just bought myself a book to read about him while we go away. And then when I've read it, it's going to be some book pages in a William Morris journal that I'm hoping to do. There we go. I love anything arts and crafts. I'm sure I was born in the wrong time period. I would definitely have been there with them. We're going to the Lake District, up to Lake Coniston, hopefully later on in the year. And I'm going to pay a visit to the house of Ruskin, John Ruskin, who's buried there. So I visited the grave last year when we went. And this time I'm going to take a trip round to the house and see his house. So I could put that all the way like that, but as I say, I don't need to, because let's fold this and we can see what we're doing. Try and fold it level A. So that's going to go like that. So it is quite busy, but actually I like it. And don't forget, you're going to have a tag in there. So I think I will just stick it all in. It just makes it easier, doesn't it, than trying to cut it and fit it. Let's just do it. Of course, if you don't want to use such busy papers, you know, make sure I've got the flowers going the right way. Have I got the flowers going the right way? Yes. So that's gonna, excuse me leaning. Oh, oopsie, Carol. Okay, I'll trim that down. I'll trim it down, don't worry. Take the excess off there. Put it on just that little bit wonky, just because I couldn't see. I need a new blade in my cutter as well. That's it. And then I'm just going to cut a little bit off there, only because I went a little bit skewedy whiff. Okay, so that pocket goes up there like that, and then that will fit in there like that. So that will be the flap. It'll have a tuck just there, and it'll have a tuck spot just there. So I'm going to go and stitch around these, and then I'll be back. Okay, so yes, I'm back. I'll just put that to one side a minute. So get that tag back. So I've stitched around this one. So I've now got the pocket there at the back. And when you lift the flap up, I've got the pocket there at the front. And you can see I've stitched, hopefully you can see I've stitched round mine. But you don't have to stitch, you know, it's not compulsory. You don't have to do it. Just make sure that you glue it on. But I thought with this one, I'd show you, if you were going to glue, I'll glue this one in, and then you can see where you're going to be doing it. So this is the bit that's the inside pocket, and this is the bit that's going to go in there as the top outside pocket. Yep. So what we would do is turn that one. I always hold it where I'm not going to glue. So obviously we want this to be a pocket, so we don't want it to glue. So I'm just going to put the glue down the sides. I can never glue straight when I'm holding it, so I apologise for that. And then that we know goes down there. It's not interfering with that, is it? So that's that bit and that bit glued. Okay, and then this is going to obviously be, so that's that pocket when it's glued. It takes a minute for the glue to grab, doesn't it, sometimes? And then this, the pocket here, I'm just going to put a glue down there and down there, and then that's going to glue just there. Just hold it while that glues on. Sometimes the glue just takes a minute just to grab. So there again, just glued down. We've got the pocket there and we've got the pocket there. And as I say, I know I've used ornate, very busy papers because I'm using William Morris papers at the moment. But you don't have to. You can use whatever papers suit you and your project. And then, you know, if you're using plainer papers, then you can certainly decorate these pockets. I won't decorate the pockets because I want to see the papers. But I will put tabs of some sort, whether I use paper tabs or fabric tabs. I'm undecided yet. But again, I hope that you like them. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Any questions, please ask, and I will most certainly be happy to answer. But thank you very much for joining me. I do appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.